Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Rockaway Creates Connection podcast. The theme for July at Rockaway Creates is heat. We have Anita Ruderman, hot yoga instructor for over 30 years and proprietor at Hot Yoga on Beach 116th, and Stephanie Berwick, one of our newest members and founder of Pasta Zerts, chocolate ravioli. Anita is the fearless leader at Hot Yoga Rockaway Beach. Since January 2010, she's married to Rick and is known to enjoy sunsets, playing mahjong, and helping people sweat and catch that yoga buzz.
That's right.
Anita loves the beginner yogi and invites anyone from Rockaway to enjoy the yoga studio any and every morning at 9 a.m. for class, or on July 18th at 5 p.m. for our event. You can learn more at hotyogarockawaybeach.com. Steph is a wife, cat mom, city gal, a concert violinist, and a professional Pastazerts owner. Pastazerts are chocolate raviolis, and we got to try them recently at a Rockaway Creates meeting. They come complete with special sauces on top. Steph is also a competitive chef, world traveler, a Persian Scottish combo, and you can learn more at pastazerts.com. Thank you so much for being here, both of you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm Galit Sadiq, and we also have Enchantress Shane from the team at Rockaway Creates.
Yeah.
And we're going to start today with Anita. Hi, Anita.
Hi.
I'm so excited to introduce you to our audience because you're such a staple in Rockaway. And I know when I had office in Rockaway, I literally was 2 doors down from you.
Really?
And constantly wondered about what was going on in your studio.
You just had to walk up the stairs. That's it. And find out.
I know. It was. I think for me, it was intimidating. So what would you say to someone like me who is just like, oh, crap?
There's no competition in the room. Shane can tell you because she's taken many classes. We welcome the absolute beginner. It's actually better if you have no yoga experience. So then you don't have the voice of other teachers in your head, and then you can just listen to us. We do the Bikram series, which we call the Hot 26. We do vinyasa classes as well. We offer workshops, and beginners are welcome to every class. We recommend that you hydrate well before you arrive. Once you start to sweat, it's hard to play catch up, but there's no competition in the room. So if you have to stop and rest, you only want to do one set of every pose, you can do that. You want to lay on your mat the whole class and just observe, you can do that as well. So you don't need any prior experience. You, like I say, you just need to hydrate, wear proper clothes, and be prepared to sweat, smile, and cry tears of joy.
And Anita, how did you get involved? Was Bikram your initial entry point in yoga?
He was not. So it's a good question, Shane. So I'm married to Rick for 40 years. I know him since I'm 15. He wasn't the first husband, but he's the last, and he's the keeper. He's been doing yoga his whole life, karate. I suffered from migraines in my early 20s. He made phone calls for me. He found a studio in Bensonhurst, the exercise studio. I took my first class there with Diana, and I was hooked from the first day. So about a year into it, she approached me and another student and said, I want to do a teacher training. I think the two of you would make great teachers. Are you interested? So we said, sure. So we worked with her for about a year. Taught classes there. It was just great. And when I went down to Florida to visit my in-laws, I looked up yoga in the yellow pages. That's how long ago that was. And there was a Yoga College of India. I made the phone call. The class time was good for me. They never told me over the phone that the room was heated. So thinking Florida, everything is air conditioned. I went with long sleeves and long pants. When I walked in, the guy behind the desk was wearing a Speedo. The women were putting bathing suits on in the dressing room. And when I walked into the yoga room, there were 9 electric heaters plugged in. I thought I was going to die. So I asked for a scissor. I cut off the pants. I cut off the sleeves. Jimmy Barkin, who was Bikram's like first instructor, was the teacher. It was 90 minutes in the heat, and the class was just incredible. He showed my face in a mirror afterwards. Look how good you look. It's like my face is purple. I look like I'm having a stroke. But I didn't forget the class. When I came back to New York, I lived in California. Bikram called me back and said, I just finished the teacher training. I have your number. When the teachers come back to New York, somebody's going to reach out to you. And they did. And one of the teachers opened up a studio in Tribeca. It was the first hot studio, 150 Chambers Street. And she gave me the opportunity to teach there. And I was hooked. And that was, that was like about 27 years ago. And in the heat is really my passion. The heat warms the muscles, lets you stretch further into a pose without getting hurt. The skin is the largest organ in the body, and it eliminates, you sweat profusely, so it's a really great detox. And once you get used to the heat, you get addicted, and you really can't ever do anything in a cold room again because you want that sweat.
And when did you move to Rockaway? Like, what was the transition of you opening?
Well, I was a bungalow bunny. So I grew up on the Lower East Side in Manhattan, and I was born in 1955. In 1959, we rented a bungalow on Beach 72nd Street. And then we moved to Beach 130th. I was there for many, many summers, went to Brooklyn Day Camp on Beach Channel Drive in 72nd Street. I think it's a concrete place now. And then I got married, to the wrong guy, moved to Florida. Rick was always, because he was my first love. When I got divorced, I reached out to him. He came to visit a few times in Florida. We long distance for a year or so. And then I came to New York, and he always he had a bungalow on Beach 26th Street. That's how we met. Like 30 kids hanging out on the boardwalk, and he had an afro and overalls, and he was smoking, and he was like stunning. I was crazy about him. And that was when I was 15, and we dated, for about a year or so. And then 10 years went by. We got back together, and we've been married since 1983.
Amazing.
And he always wanted to live by the beach. And he lived in Manhattan Beach. When his father was selling the house, he went to every building on the boardwalk and said, when an apartment facing the front with a terrace becomes available, call me. And that was in 1979. So he's here since 79, and I came up from Florida in 1981. And I've been here ever since.
Amazing. And
that's a great story.
It says, Anita is the bomb. I do have to agree with that. And here's why. I'm a really big, I have a lot of noise in my head, like a lot of people.
We all do.
Yeah. The one thing I got from you that was like, that really changed a lot, dare I say my life, is like, don't fidget. Like the moment you fidget, the mind is like, oh, we got control of this situation. But if there's no fidgeting, it's really easier to stay in a path.
Right.
And I always refer to that. So as soon as I hear you speak, I get inspired, because I can be a cranky person when it comes to physical discomfort, but I've been dipping in the ice water in the ocean. And I would bring that to like what it's like in your class, where it's beyond the physical comfort zone. Yeah. And so what do you do? Like, the first Bikram class I ever went to, the woman was really nasty in a way that didn't feel good. I felt like I was in trouble. There was carpet in the room. So the smell was really intense. So everything feels okay with you. And I feel like when people are listening, they're like, yeah, but you don't understand. So do you get people that want to come and talk to you first, or like?
Sometimes they'll make the phone call. Sometimes, when they come to the studio, I'll just like I said in the beginning, there's no competition in the hot room. You can stop and rest whenever you need to. Your goal is to stay in the room the whole 60 minutes. You want to sit on your mat the whole time, then that's up to you. Come back tomorrow. We offer the new student intro special, gives you 2 weeks unlimited classes for $50. Everybody pretty much does that. And if you love it within that 2-week period, then they sign up for larger packages, and we got them.
Amazing.
Yeah, it's really good. And Galit, let me just mention that you say 9 o'clock in the morning every day, but we do 7:30 a.m.s. We do 6:30 p.m.s on a couple nights a week, and then 5 p.m.s on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So there's no excuse for people not to show up.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think Yeah, it was the heat that always scared me. I was just like, I don't know that I can handle that.
But
And
you see what it is, Galit? You're going into the room with the mindset, you know you're going to sweat and you know it's going to be hot. So you're not wearing makeup, you're not wearing a silk blouse, you're not wearing stockings. You're going in, you're going to sweat. So I think it makes it easier if you know I'm going to be sweating for an hour, but on the other side, if I don't want to do anything, I don't have to. So there's really nothing to be afraid of. And all the teachers are very encouraging and very loving, and they're all experienced. So everybody feels comfortable. We created a really great community in Rockaway.
I love that. A Facebook user just said hot yoga can and will change your life.
There you go. It will.
This is
It will.
Jerry Ray, by the way.
Oh, Jerry, my baby Jerry, you deadbeat, where you been? Jerry was around like since the beginning. Nice. I know him for a long time.
That's awesome. Yeah. So I want to know, what is your favorite part about living in Rockaway?
The ocean view, the people, and just when you come over the bridge, your heartbeat changes because now you're at the beach. So it's just really beautiful to be. Now that we have the ferry, you're an hour from the city by car, all right, an hour plus, but we're in a little ferry. I feel like we live in a little storybook. We're in a little fairyland here. So my favorite part is riding the bike. We mentioned, all right, I'm playing mahjong. I'm doing that since I'm about 8 years old. And just to be, on the boardwalk, on the beach, in the ocean, riding the bike, just outdoor restaurants here. It's a great community.
Beautiful. And what we love to do in Rockaway Creates is like talk about what we like the other businesses here. So if there's something recently that you're like, you know what, this place really upgraded, or we love going to eat here. Like, is there a place that you want to mention?
There's many. We just tried Adrian's in Broad Channel, right on the water. We were there. I went for my birthday was last week. So we went with a big group. Everything was excellent. The food, the drinks, the service, you're right on the water. Rocco's Italian on the boulevard in 115 is fabulous drinks, fabulous Italian food. Where else? Thai Rock is unbelievable on the water. Really, like excellent Thai food. So yeah, I guess those are my three favorite places. If you want to travel off, you want to go over the bridge, then Bruno's in Howard Beach is unbelievable, and Michael's Italian in Brooklyn on Nostrandon Avenue R is unbelievable as well.
That's a good old one.
Love to eat. Love to eat. It's all about the food.
Nice.
Yeah, and I want to know.
La Cevicheria on the boardwalk. Come on, the girls come to yoga, so that's excellent.
Yeah, I want to know, since you've been in Rockaway for a long time, how has the community changed, and what do you think is great about what's happening, and like what do you wish hadn't changed?
Well, there's a lot of building going on, so it's good that there's a lot of people coming in. Can the neighborhood support all the apartment buildings that are going up, and where do people park? And crime is on the increase. 116 is, it was bad, it was good, it was bad, it was good. It's like not so great again. So I wish there was, I guess, more police presence, and, the element on 116 was a little bit better, so it changed like that. But that all these restaurants are opening and bars, and there's more people coming in who appreciate being in the neighborhood. That's the positive.
And I know that it's the summer right now, and so I mean, if you've been in Rockaway for a while, you know about DFDs, people that are down for the day.
And stand them.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, do you get any business from that, or is
Sometimes. Okay. Hardly, because people coming to the beach, there's yoga everywhere. So if I'm coming from Queens or I'm coming down from the Bronx, I probably have a studio near my house, and or I'm sweating someplace else or doing yoga in a non-heated studio. I just want to go to the beach and eat and drink and lay in the sun and like that. So there's not really, I don't get too many. Sometimes people come down for the weekend. That's a different story. They'll take a class or two. They're visiting. They rented a house. We have a few people now who are here just for the summer, but not down for the day, but they're here for the month or two. They stay at Rockaway Hotel. They do an Airbnb.
Great. I think that you kind of answered it, but if there was like some magical fairy dust and you could have anything in Rockaway that doesn't already exist.
Indian food. An Indian food restaurant.
Yes. You're not the only one. I love that.
Why can't Dwayne Reed go someplace else and be on the water and have a gorgeous Indian restaurant facing the city? That would be my dream.
Okay, so shall it be. That's a really good one. A lot of people, the closest one is Long Beach.
Yeah, and that's not even good. The best one is the Jackson Diner in Jackson Heights. We've been eating there for 30 years, and it's worth a trip from anywhere.
Oh, interesting.
Okay.
Great. And you're a wealth of information. If there was somebody that was like, oh, I want to travel to Rockaway, set up a week of yoga, like what advice would you give them, or how would you direct them?
I would say bring a lot of clothes, yoga clothes, a yoga mat, a yogi toes. We'll sell you what you forget to bring, and just be prepared to have a great time. Yoga in the morning, jump in the ocean afterwards. And, enjoy the beach, enjoy the boardwalk, rent a bike from Paul's Bike on 116 or from Rockaway Cycles on the boulevard, spend the day, have a nice meal, a drink on the water, and tomorrow's yoga again so you can burn all the calories, of everything you ate the day before.
I love it. And what's next for you?
Oh, this is it, honey. This is it. I'm done. I just turned 68. It's over after this. More traveling, Shane.
Beautiful. Beautiful. That's great. Yes, because you are a big traveler, right? I think
we try.
Yeah.
We try.
Great. Sounds like it's always nice to come back to Rockaway, though.
It's great to go away and experience cultures, food, people, but I always kiss the wall when I come back into the apartment.
Amazing. Beautiful. Yeah. Well, yeah. Is there anything else you want to share, or Galit, anything else?
No, so thorough.
Yeah, you really are.
I'm used to talking a lot. It's nonstop for 60 minutes. Shane can attest to that.
Oh, I love that. Yeah, I'm sad that I didn't get to visit you when I was literally 2 doors down.
If you come for a visit, then
I will
make the 60-minute time. 60 minutes of torture will give you 23 hours of bliss.
all course long, you get things like that where there's like no argument about it. You're like, yep, it's true. And then like everything in the ego that's trying to fight it, it's like there's no way out. It's like this is the truth of the truth of the truth. And then you keep moving.
We try.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's move on to Steph. Steph, I know that you're new in Rockaway. What drew you to Rockaway?
So I was unfortunately one of the DFDers.
Sorry.
I know, it's okay. We were coming on the ferry when the weather was nice, and we literally just fell in love. I'm a beach person in general. My husband is from upstate New York, so he was always a lake person. But I kind of pulled him out. We would go summer at the Cape Cod in Massachusetts, and we actually got married out there. My family's had a house there forever. So I kind of made him a beach guy, over the years. And we just kind of fell in love with it. Sitting on the beach one day, we're like, why? People live here? Like, can we live here? Why don't we? So, long story short, we decided to look into buying a place here and really settle in. I think a lot of the reasons we were thinking about, the community here was to really get some roots, kind of planted. And ultimately, we talked a little bit about the food scene. Our goal is really to open a restaurant here ultimately. So, I think, Shane, I've mentioned that to you before, and we're just like super excited about it. It's probably a couple of years away, but, I think the food scene, it's great, but there's room, and obviously Indian food is definitely something we look forward to too, but we don't cook that. But, I think it's just like a really great community, and it's actually better than I expected in terms of being kind of, welcomed in, Yeah.
Beautiful. And you and I have just done a couple of markets together. So yeah, tell us, what is chocolate ravioli? I honestly didn't know. And I was like, do I just eat it like this? Like, it's just something chocolate. I would just eat it. But tell us a little bit about what it is and how you came to make it.
Yeah, it's actually got a pretty cool history. So I know you mentioned, like, I do competitive cooking. It's been a while. COVID kind of put a stop to that, for a bit. But this recipe came out of a competition in Vegas called the World Food Championship. So clearly pretty large, type of global, type of activity. And it was really amazing to go out there. Lots of themes you had to adhere to. One of them was pasta for one of the competitions. And you had to do like 2 different dishes. And so one was, I think they mandated mac and cheese and whatever your spin was on that. And then you could be really creative for the second dish. And, just asking around kind of my network and what could be really creative that's pasta based, but different, And we came up with this chocolate ravioli concept really from Italy. It's, dessert raviolis, dessert pastas are pretty big over there. And I was at a restaurant with some friends and we ordered, it was on the menu, like a chocolate, minty, raspberry, fruity type of ravioli, dessert. And it was so amazing. And I'm like, I think I can recreate this. So that's really the history of it. It was part of a competition. And there was one flavor we came up with, which was peppermint. So that's like my OG. And from there, we're experimenting with different flavors, like a PBJ. And most of them are cheese, like cream cheese based in the inside. So it's really just a chocolate dough, like you make a ravioli in a mold, and then you just put fillings in them. And we experiment with different, flavors like fruits and cheesecakes and PBJ and that kind of thing. So it's been a lot of fun.
And do you cook them or you just eat them out of the package?
Yeah, we're actually kind of experimenting, and the markets are helpful because we get feedback, right? And right now we're basically making them and not cooking them and freezing them immediately. And that's how we would distribute them potentially through wholesale channels, like to different groceries, and they would end up in the freezer section like a regular ravioli, right? If you think about the freezer section, you can buy regular pasta raviolis there. But some of the feedback, we're considering maybe cooking them, and then they would just be ready to eat, and you defrost them, and maybe that's the way to go. So we're kind of, figuring that out.
Got it.
Yeah. I am just, I'm going to be curious because I'm vegan. Is there anything vegan coming from you?
It'll come, absolutely. We're really just launching now. So certainly requests like gluten-free, vegan, those types of things we'll definitely figure out in the near future, just to have, obviously be able to adhere to other, appetites and restrictions. So that'll come, just not quite there yet.
And if people are curious, like, can they order from you? Like, what's the process there?
So right now, I've spun up a website, so you can order. It is live, and we're basically shipping out. It's cold shipping, so there's logistical restrictions, if you will. So I'm kind of focused on just the Northeast right now, and I've kind of put that restriction into the website. So if you're in Texas, you're not going to be able to order right now. But it's 108 degrees in Texas, so you probably don't want to get them shipped to you. So that's kind of where we're at. I am working with a local grocer in Breezy Point, and he has been my first wholesale order. So he's given me a purchase order, and that's kind of, the direction we want to move to, and really just waiting for some packaging that's coming from our friends in China right now. So that'll happen in the next couple of weeks. And then from there, I think the plan is to, really focus on the wholesale process.
Got it. Mm-hmm. And was this birthed in Rockaway, or did you have the idea? Like, when did the idea come?
The idea probably came more to fruition than, just ideation in the last year or so. So in the process of a year ago, we were still in Brooklyn. I was starting to create some design work, thinking about logos, really just the edge of it. And then I kind of put it on hold because we had the move, we had a lot going on, right? And so to start a business and then move and all of that was a little tricky. So I kind of put it on hold. And then in February, I decided I'm ready to go. I just, had that aha moment, and I was reading a book that was inspirational, and it said, just start somewhere, so I got a tax ID number, like the basic stuff. And from there, 3 or 4 months, I've gotten my first wholesale purchase order. So we're on our way.
Yeah, I was there to witness, it happens at the market. And that's what we love about Rockaway. And Anita, you spoke to it a little bit, but just like being here so long and just showing up, you know, having conversations, having something that is going to be here no matter what is just like such a part of the key of the success. And also, like, if you're stressed out, you take a walk and your heart opens, and then you're like, okay, today was this kind of day, but later on it can be totally different.
Yeah, I have a regular corporate job that is, you know, not so great. Would love to be able to leave it someday soon, and that's the plan. Yesterday, to your point, I had a rough day, and I walked outside. It was gorgeous. Went to the boardwalk, and it just cleared my head, and just kind of reset in the evening. And I love it here. I can't say enough about it.
I always think about the people who watch this podcast video who don't live in Rockaway, and everyone comes on here like, we just love it. We kvel about it. We're like, it's amazing. We love it here. And I just feel like So
I can't leave. Even though I'm not physically there, I never let it go. Like, I will never let it go, right? Like, I have my condo there, and I'll never sell it.
So funny.
It's just, I think there's something in Rockaway that's magical.
Yeah.
And once you experience it, it's hard to want or experience anything else because things just don't measure up.
But it's not the day trip, right? I mean, the day trip kind of, was the hook for us, right? We love the beach. We're still in New York City proper. It's amazing that we're actually still in Queens, and once we actually decided to look at places to buy and put our roots down, then we started meeting the people, and that's what really, hooked us. So it was great.
Love it. And what do you, we asked Anita, what are some of your favorite places to go to, or what light do you want to shine on other businesses?
So obviously we're foodies, if that wasn't, clear enough. But my husband and I, of course, we love Pico. Pico is one of our go-to places. Love the drinks, the cocktails, and their sauces, their little hot sauces on their really good food. Brunch there is good. And I think Harbor Light, because they do, whenever you find homemade corned beef hash, that is our go-to place. If it's not out of the can, we're like, all right, this is a good place. And Whit is my neighbor. So we go to Whit's End pretty often, and he does a lot of seafood, which is my favorite. So those are kind of our three go-to places for sure.
Beautiful. Yes, they've been a really good contributor in terms of gift certificates in the past, huge gift certificates. So I love it. And also Harbor Light, it's interesting because there's a history I don't know, but they weren't open for a long time after Sandy. And so I think a lot of locals were like, our place is back. So I love that you mentioned that place. That's a good one to bring up.
It's very friendly too. And they have a good menu and, just a nice setup. You can eat indoors, outdoors. They have a big bar, and I just really like their food.
Great. And if you had someone, you kind of spoke a little bit to what the future holds, but if there was somebody or some people you'd want to meet that would help, who would that be in case someone's listening?
Yeah. I look at entrepreneurship, which, is fairly new to me, but, even being in corporate world and technology for 20 years, I've been at startups. So I've kind of been around this, get things started and scale up for quite some time. I look at it as solving problems pretty much every step of the way. So I'm a problem solver. I like solving problems. The problem I'm really faced with right now is finding a shared kitchen, commercial kitchen that I can work with someone, maybe rent out a space together. The closest ones are really Long Island City. It's crazy. It's far. So that's really what I'm looking for now, a partner maybe to open a place and, open a kitchen with, or someone that has that today that would take me in.
I love it. I saw you commented. There's a Marianne who does baking and stuff.
Yes.
So I think that's something, it's really important for us because we are all loaded with resources. And what I find about Rockaway is, because we all convene on the boardwalk, if you have an idea and a plan, you're going to see that person again. So it's not like you have to schedule time. And so, I love that you have that out in the open. And if anybody's interested, how can they contact you?
So pastazerts.com. I'm sure, I guess we'll share that. Right. And You can go on there. There's a contact form. That's probably the easiest way. Of course, I'll get that email immediately. And, Facebook, I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram. So any of those connections are easy.
Great. And I just want to say, Galit, we're so cool that this heat theme is like the hot room, the hot stove. Like we get really crafty and creative when we come to like inviting who we're talking to at the same time. And yeah.
I know. I think that our themes this year have been really awesome. And I really love this idea because we've always made a huge point of like focusing on Rockaway and the businesses and making sure that people are highlighted. Yeah. But now we get a chance to be super creative with who we bring on, and each theme makes us think of someone.
Yeah.
So it's come on really organically. So I'm glad you both made it to this month.
Thank you.
Yeah. I just really appreciate having this group, and being able to bounce ideas off and the monthly connections and just meeting all of you and everyone else, of course, in the group. But it's just been really helpful, honestly.
Yeah. So I have a question for you, Steph. How did you find out about the group and what drew you to us?
Yeah, I think it was just Instagram, scrolling through feeds as I moved here, I was trying to, follow all the right accounts and get all the intel and, know what's going on, especially in the winter because it's, a little slower. But I think that's organically just how it happened. And I saw, you guys were meeting, I think at the Moonlot last year as I was moving here. So that was it. I just followed the account and learned how you guys meet every month and showed up.
Amazing. Yeah, I love it. And it's great because what a contrast. Like Anita, you've been a longtime supporter when we were ladies of business, Rockaway Beach, and you're like, been here such a long time, and Stephanie, you're new. So I just love the contrast of it. I don't know.
And 5 years when you talk to Steph again, we'll have been living here for 35 years. So.
I know, right?
Totally. And yeah, I guess I'll ask everybody, and Galit, we can answer it too. Like, what do we want for Rockaway Creates? Like, we're doing a bunch of things. We have events. We're promoting each other's businesses. Is there something that we haven't thought of, or yeah?
I love this.
I mean, I think I can answer maybe just like a big party every year. We should get all the businesses together, all the the creators, everyone of the members, but even more broad than that, right? Like it's such a community that I think just a huge bash would be fun.
I love that. I mean, go ahead, Anita.
Christmas in July.
Yes.
Oh, interesting. Yes. Well, I love that. What about summer in December?
That you could try that. Come to the studio, we'll turn on the heat. You'll think it's July.
Oh my goodness, that's actually hysterical. Maybe I mean, I've been saying the word gala. Like, I want us to have like a big, full out. Maybe it's a fundraiser once a year, and it's art related and movement, and maybe it's a week of things. I don't know, but I just love. Yeah. I love hearing it because, in our group, there's a treasure box that's like, whenever you have an idea, put it there. But I just want to bring life to that because sometimes, like you say, if you want something and someone else wants something, you can actually just make it happen with strong desire and resources.
Yeah. And were you at our event in December? We had a party at the brewery where we did vision boards.
Oh no, I was not that. I was still getting my grounding here, and but I would love to help plan something like that.
Okay, awesome. So bookmarked.
Yeah. We know who to call because we do have like it's not a gala, but we do have something at least once a year in December, just our annual kind of like holiday / just bash, I guess. But it's a little more low key. I really also would love like a gala, where
everybody
like like Poseidon prom type, where like it's like a fun gala,
like winter white.
Yeah, I want to get dressed up like fancy dressed up, because I feel like I wear flip-flops and shorts, because the beach is right across the street all day, right? And so I have all these nice dresses that are just sitting in the closet.
I'm on it.
Yeah.
What about you, Anita? What would you like to see?
What would I like to see? A good question. I can't answer that right now.
Yeah.
Oh my God, we're stumped, Anita.
Yeah. So,
I'm at a loss for words, if you could believe that.
Yeah, well, maybe that's good about Rockaway Creates. Like, we're doing all the things. Yeah, but it's really an open-ended question too for everybody who's listening to. Like, we really want to know people's desires, because sometimes they're simple. Like, we had a meeting and we asked this question and people were like, I want to paint outside with people. It's like, okay, simple. Post it, and then you can bring your watercolors, and it's not a hard thing.
Yeah.
And then there was some requests for Indian food, like, and then things that are just doable, making a video, making a movie, like whatever it is. So yeah, let it be an open question to be answered as desires come up.
Yeah, taking social media pictures for each other.
Yeah.
That was an idea that came up in the group, and
we did it.
We did it a bunch of times in all different ways. Like Shane and I did it on the beach. It was just,
Yeah.
Great idea. I just did some, ravioli pictures yesterday here at home, and it would be great to take them to the beach, right? And we could take.
Ooh, of course. That's where where do you make them now?
I make them at home. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a beautiful part of the story, though. Is like that you do it at home in the beach. So.
Maybe, Anita, we can work in hot yoga and ravioli. I don't know. Something.
You survive the class, you get the dessert.
There you go.
The reward. I have a little refrigerator. We could keep it chilly, and until the class is over.
Yeah.
That's the magic, is this collaborations that are like, why not? We have different audiences. Even better is as one of my friends always says, why not? So yeah. Planting seeds. All right. Well, Galit, anything you want to share about your business and your world?
I don't know. Okay, so anything about my business? I mean, if you've been watching for a while, you might know what I do. I'm a virtual CFO, and I do financial wellness coaching. If you have your taxes on extension and you need your books done, now is the time. Other than that, no, I feel like things are going well. I'm just chugging along. I wish I was in Rockaway right now, because I am sweltering with no beach around. I'm in
sand. We'll send you a little jar of sand.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I live in the desert, so there's no of sand.
I will take a bottle of water.
Yes,
I need the waves. I went on July 3rd. I went and drove to a lake, because I was just needing water so bad, and spent the whole day just jumping in a lake, and that felt really good.
Plans to visit?
What was that?
Do you have any plans to come visit?
Yes. So what's going on in my life is that I am currently in fertility treatments. So I am kind of on hold right now until that works. And then I can plan visits, because I would love to come to Rockaway, and so my mother lives in Far Rockaway, and my sister lives in Israel, and she is currently she's coming next week to visit New York, and I haven't seen her since I was in Israel in February and March. So, missing my nieces, my nephew, my family, and they'll be staying in Rockaway for a month. So I'm hoping that if I get pregnant, I'm just gonna book a flight and just go.
That would be great.
Let's see. So I'll share that I have my infamous Video Vixen mission coming up, 18 days of live videos. And it's a way to really own yourself and get to know yourself so well that everything in life is successful. And I say that really quickly, but when your desires are so clear, you can ask for them, you can realize them. And whether it's love or business or friendships, self-actualization really comes from being seen, which feels vulnerable and all kinds of crazy and awkward. But I'm the kind of masochist that like creates awkward and then sits in it. So, and that's where growth is. So that's what's happening starting August 3rd.
Good.
Yeah. And I encourage everyone to join. It happens twice a year. And you said something, Galit, that I wanted to touch on, but I don't remember what it is anymore.
I don't know, but I will say that I love Video Vixen. You were the one that started me on live videos, and you literally took my first live video for me. Back. And now I do live video like twice a week and have done it once a week for at least 5 years.
Yeah. So, yeah. And you have Money Mondays that everybody should watch. There's so much genius dropped all the time, and you really got my money stuff together. Like I came to you feeling just like a heap of a mess, and then I had these big audacious dreams that I was kind of making fun of in my head, but now like they're here. Like all my bills are paid, I have a big fat savings. I'm like, who even am I? But I still use the forms you gave me, I don't know, maybe 6 years ago. It works. Yeah, it's amazing. It really works. So I just want to, commend you on rallying up my inner child that's like, leave me alone, and also like being broke. Those two things are not.
I love it.
So, and if you're listening to this in the summer, we have a bunch of physical in-person events coming up. One of them, which is at Hot Yoga. It's like a dance movement yoga event. And then we have a boathouse. What is it? Community boathouse kayaking, and then the bungalow bar, and then plant swap in September. So all of our events are mostly free. If we have a gala, it will be probably one of the events that is like a I don't know what I'm talking about, but we're going to make it a fundraiser and it's going to be bigger. Now I'm like excited about it.
Yeah.
But really all of our meetings are free. Show up. I want to encourage people, even if you don't have a business or you don't think you're creative, you will be inspired. You'll feel like a part of something. And we're really in our minds grassroots, where if you have an idea, like we want to make it happen. It's like our kink. We just want to make people's ideas happen. We really love it. The four of us on the executive board and even our board at large, we're just like, do it, people. And that feels really good to be around, whether it's someone else's idea you want to support or your own. So we want to encourage more people to show up. All are welcome. And we've got a big giant speaker and we're ready to do dance parties. So if there's a reason you want to have a dance party, or a house that wants to host us, or a business that wants to have one of our meetings, just let us know and tell us your agreements and rules, and we'll show up.
Yeah, and you don't have to be a member to come to the meetings.
Right.
So there's also no pressure, right? Come there. There's no pressure to join.
No.
The first time I went to a meeting, it was a large group, and I just felt so comfortable. And you don't know what to expect, right? And is this for me? Is it going to be worth it? And who are the people? What do they do? What do they talk about in the meeting? And Shane, I showed up the next time. So
that was a really big point. You're right, because we're a lot of shy, awkward people, and going the first time can feel like, will I fit in? Will I feel stupid? And literally, we love everybody. Like Dana, Sam, me, and Galit on virtual. We're just like so excited. I don't know. We can't help it. We greet everybody as if we haven't seen them in 12 years. Meanwhile, we just saw them 20 minutes ago. It's just like it happens that way, and it's really nice. And also becoming a member gets you a bunch of cool things. It's only $120 for the year, so it's a nice commitment. You can put it on your resume, and also you get to be on the podcast. So that's fun.
The win-win.
Win-win. All right. Well, this has been good. I feel super grounded and really excited to connect with everybody. And anybody want to share any last minute things before we close?
I want to sign up for Hot Yoga, Anita.
It's so good.
I've done it a few times. It used to be my go-to, and I'll just shamelessly say, like when I had a hangover in my earlier days, it was like the perfect cure because you just sweat it out, right? I love hot yoga.
Good. that's a good invite for people.
There you go. We always say, you know, Mondays. That's why Monday's always a really busy day.
Who knew?
Everybody's cleaning out from the weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You're welcome anytime, Steph. I'd love to have you.
of course.
Amazing.
Jane, same goes for you.
Amazing. I have a birthday in a month and I'm kind of like,
So-
what should I do? And so I want to, this is
Yes.
amazing. All right, everyone. Well, Galit, thank you so much for being here,
Galit.
setting up all these goodies around us, all the things, the extras. Yeah, until next time.
All right.
Appreciate you all. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.